I had no idea how I wanted to start this vlog. It's been a while since I vlogged, and I don't know, I feel like I've started like at least 50% of all of my videos with like me making coffee in the morning, so I thought maybe making soup would be a fun alternative. So here we are. I have soup. It's just egg drop soup. Very simple, very warming. But yeah, hi, how are you guys? How's it going? Long time no chat like this. Yeah, this week has been my like appointment week. So I went to the doctor, I went to therapy, and I went to the dentist. Just getting that all out of the way all at once. And so yesterday I went to therapy, and that was my final therapy appointment. I've decided to stop going, mostly as like an economical decision, just because therapy isn't cheap. And I feel like I've been doing really well in the past few months. And, you know, even though like life has, you know, gone up and down and been like this the way that it always does, I've kind of maintained a solidity underneath whatever goes on. And so I feel like I'm ready to go into this next chapter of my life, not going to therapy regularly anymore, and I'll see where that takes me. And if I feel like going back, I'll go back, of course. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. And it's, you know, spring, the days are getting warmer. I'm sure that has something to do with it. I'm just feeling very grateful and very optimistic about life. So yeah, that's the update there. This is actually not, this wasn't supposed to be the beginning of this vlog. I've been like kind of on and off vlogging for the past couple weeks or whatever. Just chitty chatting and saying whatever's on my mind as I usually do. But in the past couple weeks, I was kind of like going through some like, I don't know, anxiety around the state of the world. And I was basically just like experiencing that in real time and like talking it out in real time on camera. And the initial stage of that was me basically like venting. So now being like okay again and I've calmed down again, I feel like it's a reasonable thing for me to, I don't know, not want to include the venting that I did at the beginning of a video, or like at all, you know? I feel like especially since I've now come back to calm again and come back to like being okay again, and then like I think back to some of the shit that I was not freaking out about, but you know, being anxious about or letting anxiety kind of get to me about, and thinking back to it and being like, that was silly. So yeah. But yeah, anyways, hi, welcome to the vlog. This is going to be a bit of a busy week. I feel like yesterday was hectic just with my multiple appointments in between work and stuff like that. And then, oh my God, I'm sorry. Yeah, today I just worked and stuff like that. And it's kind of like midday now. But I have a few like illustration projects that I need to be working on. One of them is for Patreon. That one is like pretty much done. I just need to look at it again and make sure I'm perfectly happy with it, and then also make the sticker for it. So that'll be down the line. All the stuff I need to basically finish by the end of the month, and this week is like the last week-ish that I have. Next Monday is the 31st. And then yeah, another one is a illustration for a poster show that I've started and have a pretty good concept going for, but I just need to finish her off and refine it and, you know, get it to a point where I can deliver it. That's due on Friday. And then, yeah, other things that I have going are for, like client things, or like they're for like specific calls or like RFPs. So I am not entirely sure if I can show you, but that's going to be keeping me busy until the end of the month. And then past that, there's lots of other exciting things on the go. And so I'm excited. It seems like it's going to be a eventful spring and summer in terms of like art things. So that's fun. So yeah, please enjoy. Enjoy the vlog, whatever happens on it. I just wanted to get it started and eat my soup. And then we'll get into working on that poster show illustration. Sound good? Okay, let's get into it. Alrighty. Hi, next scene. Okay, we need to lock focus. Okay, here. Am I overexposed? Don't know. Okay, well this isn't even gonna work because I gotta show you my thing that we're gonna be working on right now. Yeah, so I am submitting some work. I'm so blown out right now. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just gonna let go of this. And we're just gonna deal with the annoying refocusing. I'll try and be quick here while I'm showing you this. Yeah, so I'm submitting a illustration into a poster show. There's a studio in my city that's like screen printing focused. They're a screen printing studio, and yeah, they host periodic poster shows where they select 10 artists to 10 artists who submit based on a theme. So this time around the theme is flowers, Alberta flowers, and I have been meaning to enter for the past 2 times that they ran these things. Once was last winter, and then another one was like last fall or summer or something like that. And I just never did. So now I'm telling myself that I'm actually gonna fucking do it this time. And yeah, if you get chosen, you get like a small honorarium or whatever, and then also 50% off their intro to screen printing class, which is very interesting to me. I've always been interested in screen printing. I never tried it. It was one of the electives that I considered taking in school, but just never did. So yeah, it would be really cool if, you know, I'm chosen and I can, you know, get a nice little discount on their print class. If that could be like a thing that I could do in the summer, just as a little, you know, art activity. So this is what we're working with. It's like, so the brown that's lined in there right now is incomplete. I just kind of started it to get an idea, to like give myself an idea of what I wanted to do. But basically it's, I chose dandelions as the flower. I know it's not like, I don't know, special or anything, but I kind of like how dandelions are just like fucking everywhere, and they're not special or whatever, they're very common, but yeah, something about that and the beauty of the different cycles that they go through, like going from the yellow flower to the white flower or whatever, when they disperse their seeds, is very cool to me. And I like that, I don't know, that progression. So I wanted to create something to represent that and to celebrate that. So that is what I am working on today. And yeah, it's a bit of a technical challenge because I can only use 3 colors. There's only going to be a 3-layer screen print for this. So I think I have it figured out. I'm literally just using the yellow, green, and brown as like my contrast color. And yeah, I think it will turn out fine. Like I said, I've never done screen printing, so I hope like the little like speckle gradients and everything that I'm doing will be okay, but I'm pretty sure that's fine. Like as long as it's not an actual like super fine gradient, like as long as there is clearly, it's almost like pointillism. So yeah,
how are you guys? How is it going? How have things been? Things are good for me, like I said. Obviously, since I'm making changes and, feeling like I don't need therapy anymore. Like, I don't want to say I don't need therapy. I just am feeling pretty good, and I think I can take a break right now. I feel like a break would be good to kind of like move forward on my own, take what I've learned, the same kind of vibe that I was feeling the first time that I did therapy and then decided to take a break. So we'll see how that goes. I feel like it was pretty cool reviewing or like having that final session with my therapist where we, went over, where I was at the beginning when I first came to her and then where I am now, and basically just recapping and talking about all the things that I've learned and stuff like that. And it's pretty cool, like how much I've changed and how much better I've been able to like understand myself and grow into myself and accept myself and, all the positive things that I've done and all of the things that I've gone through to get to this point. And so, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. And like moving forward, I've been kind of journaling on what, I should be focusing on to maintain this practice of like knowing myself and growing and, working past my fears or like working past, my brain's tendencies and conditioning to feel certain anxieties around certain things that, ultimately aren't a threat to me anymore. Those things that, kind of established themselves in my childhood. And yeah, I think, of all the work that I've done to, learn how to be compassionate with myself and learn how to accept myself and learn how to deal with periods of unproductivity, which, just a couple years ago or whatever, like that was the worst fucking thing that could happen. Or like, when those periods would come would be some of the lowest periods that I would experience. Just in terms of like, I don't know, me going through shit on my own. That's like not even touching on like if other things externally in my life were going wrong, then that's like a whole other thing. But yeah, I've really learned to, and I'm still learning to, be okay with the ebbs and the flows. And like when I do feel unmotivated and, kind of slow and blah, 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 I've been through it enough times to be aware that I just need to ride it out and I just need to, accept whatever state I'm in and know that, I'm still me and I'm still good and I'm still, worthy of love and life and all the good things. I'm just a little bit like, needing rest for a bit. So to be able to give myself that, will, the point of it is not to get myself out of that low quicker. It's like, I'm going to come out of the low whenever I'm going to come out of it. It's just, while I'm down there or while I'm in that state, it's just much nicer on me to simply allow it to be, because I'm going to have my lows. So why beat up on myself about that when it's like inevitable and it's, something that I can't control? It's just kind of how life is. So that's kind of what I've come to and what I'm vibing with in terms of that. And yeah, I think moving forward, like a tangible practice that I want to incorporate into my life, like similar to like me learning to journal or me learning self-compassion by very like intentionally speaking to myself with kindness and understanding and acceptance. So much so that over time, I've not had to do that as much, yet the effects of that
I feel like have been maintained because, you know, those like new pathways in my brain had been created from me very intentionally, very purposefully speaking to myself kindly. So following that momentum, I've talked about this before, but I'd like to pay specific and intentional attention to when I feel discomfort, because I feel like, so my normal pattern, and I'm sure like for everybody, right? You're living life, la da la da la di da, and then something comes up that makes you uncomfortable. Either it, you know, triggers your ego feeling threatened, or, you know, you feel like your identity is being threatened, or a core fear is being like tickled or whatever. Whatever it may be, it could literally be the smallest thing. And then you feel uncomfortable because, you know, you feel threatened. It doesn't feel good. But that threat and that fear, which I've learned, is like not real, right? Like my brain thinks it's real because it used to be real maybe when I was a kid. But even as I've grown, and even as, you know, those threats have gone away now and I'm safe and I'm, you know, I'm an adult, my little baby brain still is scared of stuff like that, or things that, you know, used to be actual threats when I was younger. So of course it's going to feel discomfort. It's going to want me to pull away and like turn to something comforting, or, you know, whatever. So really like paying attention to that and being attuned to sniffing out when the discomfort is there, I think is going to be the next thing that I focus on, because it like, I don't know, an example is like, I feel like I usually feel discomfort like between tasks or something like that, or like when I feel like I need to do something, but I'm like scared that I'm not going to do it good enough, or, you know, there's just fear around it. So feeling that discomfort, my automatic response is to procrastinate it and do something else that, you know, is more comfortable for me. But if I just continue to, you know, go along with that forever and ever, there's no growth. And, you know, I'll continue this pattern of procrastinating something until the last moment and having a bad time doing it because I'm just avoiding discomfort and avoiding looking at the discomfort in its face and seeing it for what it is. And what it is not real, essentially. So, yeah, that's where I'm at in terms of, you know, therapy shit. And yeah, it's a nice place to be, I think. Being able to like look forward and know your path, or like know what to do next. And definitely like going through the, you know, months of therapy that I did, the year and a bit, in this past chapter, has led me to that and has enabled me to be where I am now, in this state where I kind of know what to focus on next and feel good about it. So that's all I wanted to yap about for the therapy stuff. Yeah, I've just been using this video for the audio while I overlap it with my stuff that I'm working on, but yeah. That's all for now. I'll update you guys on more as I think of it, as I always do. Okay, great. Bye for now. Okay, hi, good morning. It's Wednesday today, and Wednesdays are my specifically
illustration work day, illustration day of the week, where I specifically work on my illustration-based projects, right? It's just meant to be a day in the middle of the week where I'm telling myself like I'm not obligated to do like client work. Today is saved for me and for my projects, and also like some client stuff, but illustration client stuff. So, anyways, completely unrelated to that. I previously have done a little exercise where I just like painted something random. I gave myself 5 minutes to do it. This was something that my therapist suggested I try, just because like we were talking about how, I don't know, how difficult it is for me to just like let go and have fun and let, art be fun and like play, because it's so closely tied to my self-worth and, oops, oh, fuck me. And like it's my career and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of stakes that I put on myself in regards to whatever I make. So yeah, just this exercise or whatever, when I did it, it was basically to confront and like look at and feel the discomfort around, I don't know, not going into creating with a plan and like making something that obviously will turn out bad, or not bad, but like, not up to my standard, and then allowing myself to observe and watch for whatever discomfort comes up from that. So it's kind of like exposure therapy, right? Like I never go into drawing something unless it's in my sketchbook without some sort of plan, or like even if I am sketchbooking, oftentimes I will pull out a reference and use that to make sure that whatever I am drawing, whatever I'm making, turns out good, or at least like, good enough, passable. So going into creating something without anything like that, literally, I don't really know what I'm gonna do here. Or draw here. I have a bit of an idea, but again, like I have no real plan. Yeah, just taking that different approach will be uncomfortable and anxiety inducing and all negative things, because, my psyche or my identity that I've built up around myself finds comfort in, having control of the situation and knowing that, or doing everything that I can to make sure that whatever I'm working on will turn out to my standard, which is very high. And even then, when I hit that, it's not good enough, right? So yeah, the first time doing this, I forget if I said, I gave myself 5 minutes. And it was literally so uncomfortable. I forget if I still have it, what I drew, because I fucking like hated it, obviously, because it's uncomfortable. And, it's not what I'm used to making, because what I'm used to making is like high level stuff, because that's how I, enable myself to create. Actually, let me see if I can find it. It was, I wanted to make like I just wanted to paint a plant, I guess, because like I like plants and they're easy enough. And I had this, here it is. I had this image in my mind, oh God, of what I wanted to do. or make, and it really just did not go to plan. And that's okay. Like I said, I had 5 minutes. This is what it is. Here we go. It's a mess, obviously, like, you know, as you would expect. It's not supposed to be good, but making this, so many emotions came up and so many like judgments as I was making this. Like I put down the yellow first, the background, and tried to like cut out the shape of like the plant or whatever. And I was like, okay. And I was like freaking out about how little time I had. And then, I started going in with the pastels, and I was going very quick and whatever. And I was hating every second of it. I was judging every stroke that I put down, you know, telling myself that like, fuck, what am I doing? This is terrible. This is not turning out, blah, 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 blah. Like all of the things that swirl up in my head when I'm not in control, and the judgments and the feelings that I try to avoid so badly by over preparing and making sure I have like a million different references before I start any piece, or before I, you know, at every stage of whatever I'm working on, it needs to be perfect. I need to feel prepared. So, we're gonna do that again. I'm gonna very intentionally make myself so uncomfortable, okay, on purpose. And I'm just gonna put myself in a situation where the discomfort feelings come up so that I can observe them and I can feel them. I can allow myself to feel them and, you know, not run away from them like I always do, you know? Exposure therapy. The goal here, eventually, like I want to turn this into a regular thing that I do, to make it into a practice of, I guess, strengthening that muscle of getting used to feeling uncomfortable with my art. Because if I can, you know, step past these boundaries that like make me feel uncomfortable and tell me to turn away and just go back to what I always do, then all of these like goals and dreams I have about being able to make art freely and uninhibitedly will just be, you know, so out of reach. So I feel like this is one of the ways that I can get myself closer to that. Yes, that's what we're doing. Yeah. I'm just gonna select a few different materials for me to use, just so that, like I said, I'm only giving myself 15 minutes. Not that it fucking matters, but I don't want to waste time, you know, on indecisiveness. So, can't remember, like I want to use my cheap stuff. I can't remember if this is nice or anything. I'm pretty sure it's not nice, but why did I buy this? Maybe I'll use my gouache. Okay, let me select a color palette here. How am I feeling today? It's really rainy outside. It's like gloomy and it rained or something, so everything's wet, and it's kind of nice. We never get rain here. It's very dry in my city, and it has been dry all winter, so I'm pretty happy with the rain. It's nice. It's like kind of a cozy vibe. Like I don't like it when it's gloomy and it doesn't rain, like it's gloomy and dry, like that sucks. That's unideal. But when it's gloomy but it has rained and everything's like moist and wet and, you know, clean and fresh, that's nice. That's a nice vibe. Okay, sorry. I'm procrastinating here. Okay, I'll do blue. I'm gonna keep it so simple. Blue, and then maybe I'll get like some Posca markers. Do I want to do Posca? Sure, yeah, whatever. Okay, so I got blue and I got blue, and maybe like if I could make like a pink. Okay, I'll do like one of my big brushes just for fun, because those are fun. And then I'll do like a couple hog brushes, because I don't want to get precious with this. I want to be not precious. And I feel like, I don't know, this time around, I feel much more prepared, maybe just because like my last Patreon illustration for this month, for March, I challenged myself to, you know, do it traditionally or whatever. And it turned out a lot better than I thought. I used gouache. And yeah, so I guess just like having that experience under my belt, and that being like more recent, I kind of trust myself to paint and to be okay with painting. So it's kind of much less scary than the first time that I tried this, where I just had no fucking idea about what I was doing. Okay, team, are we ready? Are you ready for this to go down? Let me just lock focus here. And like, I wonder how me filming this will affect the process. Obviously, I'd like to do this without a camera and see how it goes, but I thought I would, just for the sake of sharing, record this process. Okay, I feel ready. We'll be good. So, actually, I thought of this earlier. I'm just gonna write a little post-it note reminder for myself, in case I start freaking out. A reminder of why I'm doing this, or, you know, some guidance. Observe. Okay, starting the timer now. Wish me luck. Start. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. This is... I feel like I'm already trying to be precious with it just for the sake of cleanliness or whatever, but that's not something that we can afford to use time on. What am I trying to do here? I'm gonna do a bunny. Wow, this does not want to load onto my brush. My mind kind of went to, I've really been loving Mila Useche's recent paintings. She's been doing like these little characters with like lots of texture. It's really cool how she like layers the paints and stuff like that, but yeah, she's like a huge inspiration. Okay, are we on time? 10 minutes, okay. Okay, I feel like most of this was just me not knowing what the fuck I'm doing with loading the brush, so eyeballs, it needs eyeballs. Okay, this is gonna be a pretty creepy looking bunny. Okay, this isn't too bad. I feel like maybe I'm not allowing myself the opportunity to feel as much discomfort as I would like. I'm sure whatever I'm doing is good enough or whatever in terms of like the exercise. Just because like I did have an idea of kind of what I wanted to do. Specifically like, I don't know, inspired by Mila's stuff, but whatever. I suppose it's something that like, I don't know, when I see her do that stuff, it makes me think like, I want to do that. So maybe, if anything, I'm showing myself that like, I can. Well, that's kind of a cool effect. Just allow myself the opportunity to like play. I also feel like, and maybe this is part of it, I feel like mentally I'm in a much better place than I was the first time I tried this. So that could be a contributor as well. I guess just a wash is what I'm gonna have to do here. Should I add a mouth or no? My mind is telling me no, but my brain is telling me yes. What a silly guy. I feel bad just like absolutely disrespecting this pen, but that's what it's for. I feel like I always am so precious with my tools. But then you don't get to like really let go and play, I suppose. Oh. That's it. Okay. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Dare I say that was fun? Yeah, wow. I mean, okay, yeah, like I said, I, had an idea of what I wanted to do just based off of, the inspirations in my brain. So like, I guess I had direction, but to be fair, like when I did that, the plant one, the first one in 5 minutes, I did have an idea that I wanted to draw a plant, specifically a fiddly fig, which that thing looks nothing like a fiddly fig. But yeah, I guess I don't know, all the things that I said as I was doing this. I suppose I'm a different person now than I was when I did it then. So, cool. Well, that was fun. Like I said, I want to make this like a regular thing, and I'm kind of surprised it went as well as it did in terms of like my mental. I felt okay. I was kind of having fun. So if anything, that's something. Even though like maybe the discomfort didn't come up as much as I expected, that's kind of a good thing, because I'm, kind of proving to myself that like, oh, I can do something that's so fucking foreign to me, foreign as in what I'm used to, which is digital and line work and all this stuff. And it can turn out like pretty cute and I can have fun with it, if anything. So that's pretty cool. And do it so quick too, because like you guys all know, like based off of my other stuff that I've done,
traditional stuff, at least, like the fish painting and yada yada. I guess that, you know, has a lot bigger stakes because I'm like making it for somebody's space. I stretched that out for months, you know, slowly etching away at it. I think mostly because I was uncomfortable with, you know, the act of painting and whatever. So I think the more that I, you know, do stuff like this and try stuff like this, obviously the more comfortable I'll get with doing more. So that's cool. Nice. I'm happy. I'm proud of myself. Great. I gotta clean up this mess now. If it looks like a whirlwind came through here. Yeah. Very cool. It's Wednesday again. It's snowing today, which is fine and good, you know. I think, I don't want to say I hope, because, you know, snow is good too, but I think that this will be the last snow before it really starts to warm up, which is great because I love the warm and the sun and blue skies and all that. So that's exciting. But yeah, today I have a few things that I would like to do, but the day is pretty open, which is fun, as Wednesdays tend to be. Yeah, it's April 2nd, so I gotta pack Patreon stuff and ideally mail it out today. And then, yeah, like I did last Wednesday, I do want to do that painting exercise again. Like I said, I think I said this, I wanted to like turn it into a regular practice, just to, I don't know, regularly remind myself that, you know, I can push myself outside of my comfort zone, or I can do things outside of my comfort zone and be okay, you know? It's just like creating opportunities for me to feel discomfort and like slowly learn that like I can be okay with it.
And then, yeah, there's like other, art things that I can work on as always. But yeah, that's the day for today. I just journaled, and kind of like oftentimes when I journal, it's just like reflecting on, I don't know, the details of my life or like whatever's going on, whatever I'm thinking about, anything that I'm like hanging on to or struggling with. I kind of hash it out then when I journal, and that's been, really good to keep myself like clear and okay. But yeah, today, and like sometimes this happens, I really bring myself back to center and remind myself who I am beyond name and form, if you will, who I am at my core, which is who all of us are. That's not grammar, but and yeah, it was, I don't know, it's nice to remind myself periodically. I feel like, especially if in recent times or recent days or weeks or whatever, I've been feeling kind of caught up in the details of my life and certain worries or certain fears or anxieties or, all the things that your ego or, who you are in a worldly sense gets caught up in. It's very refreshing, I guess, to, bring myself back to sitting behind all of that again and being reminded of like, oh yeah, I'm just kind of here inside of what you guys are seeing, inside of Licha, experiencing all that is in my life. And I can sit behind all of that and observe what's going on, observe what I'm feeling, observe what I'm thinking, but I don't have to get caught up in it, And it's all just kind of going on, and that's cool, and I can just sit there and watch, and when that's going on, that's fine. And then when I feel a little bit more clear and peaceful, then I can do other things like make art and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just what I was reminded of this morning, and it's lovely. So yeah, it's a good day, as all days are. So I am going to paint now, I think. And I don't think I'm gonna mic myself up this time. I'm just gonna fucking do it, I guess, and then maybe I'll chat about it afterwards, how I felt. But yeah, I feel in a very good place to attempt that exercise again right now. So let's go do that. All right. Hi. So here we have it. Yeah, 15 minutes. I did go into it having a bit of an idea of what I wanted to do. I forget if I talked about this on this vlog, but I've started to, trying to at least build a habit out of making little visual notes. I bring around a little book with me, and I bought like this tiny little pen that can just like stay in my wallet, just stay clipped to my wallet, and I don't really notice it. I got this tiny little book that I'm kind of bringing around with me wherever I remember to with my wallet. And yeah, I just like when I go on a walk or something like that, and I see, like, for example, the inspiration for this was I was going on a walk, as I do, and it was around sunset or something like that, and the shadow from like some houses and stuff were blocking the sun hitting a tree, and so only the top bits of the tree were, you know, kind of orangey, and the rest of it was pretty dark. So I thought that was cool, so I drew it in my little notebook as just like a shitty quick note, and that image has just kind of been in my mind, so I thought I would spit it out with this exercise. And yeah, it is obviously pretty messy. I did only have 15 minutes. I do think, you know, if I gave myself more time and, you know, different materials and I knew how to properly etch it out and everything, it could be pretty cool. But yeah, that's kind of the point of this, is allowing myself to do something that might not end up to my standard, you know? Just kind of allowing it to be there and observing the discomfort that I feel around doing stuff like that and getting used to that. But yeah, it's not the worst thing, you know? I do appreciate the kind of aurora feeling vibes in the background. It's not 100% what I was going for, but yeah, it is what it is. And another Wednesday painting exercise completed. So go me. Yeah, I feel like as I continue to do these, you know, I'm training myself to be more comfortable just like pulling out paints and just like doing it quickly. I feel like I have such a mental block around traditional art, any kind of traditional medium that isn't just like pens and markers and a sketchbook, that it's just such a hassle. You know, there's, you know, bringing out paint and putting it in a palette and then using that and blah, blah, blah. It's so many steps, and it's kind of messy and stuff like that. So I tell myself that like, I don't really feel like doing all that right now. But like, I don't know, setting this up and then doing this quickly in 15 minutes or whatever is showing me that, you know, it's really not that bad. And then cleanup isn't bad either. At least for what I'm doing. I use gouache today. And yeah, I'll slowly learn more lessons as I do these. So yeah, here it is. Ta-da! I'm observing a want in myself, right? To, you know, take something more opaque and like fill in the background or whatever, like cut out the shape properly of the tree. But the material that I was using and I think I washed out the blue too much, so it was too thin and watery, and also the branches themselves didn't have proper time to dry, but the background color that I was cutting in with just wasn't opaque enough. So, you know, these ones are okay, but like the ones on the right side, the branches at the top, kind of get muddy and, you know, lost and whatever. So that's the discomfort that I'm feeling, that I am not going to touch this anymore, and it's just going to live here imperfect. And that's okay, because that's the point. So yeah, okay, I'm going to clean up now and get on with the rest of my day. Bye-bye. Hey, good evening. Konbanwa, as they say. Hi. I am drawing. I feel like I haven't drawn or done studies or sketchbooked properly, I guess, in a while. I don't want to say sketchbooked properly because I sketchbooked a bunch in Vancouver, but I guess I haven't sketchbooked at home in a minute. I always sketchbook when I travel, so I guess in my mind that doesn't really count. Yeah, I've been kind of sitting on my original plan for the kitchen painting that I started in my last actual vlog, not the travel vlog, the stuff that all of this is for behind me. And yeah, so the original plan was, I forget if I showed it in that vlog, but it was basically a big piece of driftwood that a cat is kind of climbing and kind of hunting a bird. And that was my idea. It didn't really have any meaning behind it. I just wanted to paint driftwood. I knew that because driftwood is pretty. And I bought a bunch of like different kinds of brown ink. So I was just wanting to play with different textures and like making the streaky texture in driftwood. Something about wood texture is just so beautiful to me. So that was the plan. And I kind of was sitting on it and I went on my trip. I did a bunch of things, did a bunch of travel, didn't do anything with it for a little bit. And then now, after having completed a bunch of stuff, so I have a bit more time, I'm thinking about this painting again, and I'm not in love with my original composition or my original idea. So part of me is like, okay, I was excited about this idea. I did think it was good. Am I overthinking it by thinking that I have to change it? Like, am I, in a way, like, putting off doing the actual painting or, like, self-sabotaging in a way? I know it really doesn't matter what the painting is. I know that, if I went with my original idea and went through with the painting and finished it and everything, it would be good and I would, accept it and be happy with it, I'm sure. But on the other hand, I don't know, when I was journaling, I was kind of thinking about that composition and I drew like a shitty little sketch of another idea that I had of the same driftwood, because that's kind of the main element that I really enjoyed. And then instead of a cat chasing a bird, kind of to scale, a bunch of like little people and creatures and whatever else journeying across this piece of driftwood, and the sun is in the background, and there's like a cool kind of shadow light thing going on. And I just like doodled that randomly, and I really liked it. And just now, today, I kind of expanded on that, drew out that sketch again to make sure that, you know, there's nothing else that I want to add now that it's been in my head for a little bit, or if that's kind of the way that I want to go, that still feels good, and it still felt good. So that's the plan for now, I think. And yeah, I picked up this book recently. I went to a secondhand bookstore and traded in some like old books that I never read / probably will never read, or have read and just don't need anymore. And I got some credit to get this heavy boy. It's a book on David Hockney, who's an artist who did a bunch of art throughout his life, and basically it just goes through all of his different eras of life and everything. It's kind of like a gallery exhibition, where they, you know, show a single artist throughout the years and what they created and their eras and phases and chapters. And I love that shit. I love experiencing an artist's life, getting to know an artist through their work over time. It's so inspiring. So yeah, I finally flipped through it today. It has a lot of text. One of these days I'll sit down and like give it a proper read. But yeah, I just flipped through and looked at all the pictures and was feeling so inspired as you do. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't know. I've been thinking a lot lately about, you know, what life is like now, I guess, compared to what life used to be like, just in terms of like how technology is everywhere. You know, it's become the norm to just, you know, get all of your information from online, or like if you're an artist, all of your inspiration from online. Like I use Pinterest as my primary source of, you know, reference and inspiration and, you know, research and stuff like that. But just like, I don't know, something about looking through a book or like a publication of a single artist, and like, I don't know, that experience of like flipping through pages feels so much more special, and you feel like you need to take more time with it and like really digest what you're looking at, rather than like in comparison to scrolling a feed of stuff that's just shown to you based on an algorithm or whatever. It's just spitting out whatever it thinks you'll like, rather than it feeling curated in any way. And obviously, like, I don't know, Pinterest is kind of, you know, the most mainstream source of that for artists. So I'm sure there's other resources out there that are much better, and I should probably take a look at. But yeah, I don't know. I just had the urge to look through this book and spend some time with it. And yeah, there were a couple of his drawings in here that he, a style that he kind of played with in the 70s. Like a drawing pencil style. That is just so, I don't know, something about it is so beautiful. It's like, it captures detail, but it's also, I'll show you guys what that looks like. I'll get a little B-roll clip of it. But it shows like detail, but also it's like so selective with its mark making, and all of the mark making is so like human, you know what I mean? And like you can feel the hand that did these things. Yeah, I don't know, something about it I just really love. And it reminded me, I don't know, it invigorated, I guess, a feeling inside me that like I want to be an artist. I have this pull and this draw that I don't think I'll ever get rid of in my life, that just wants to create and to make art. And having gone a span of time of like not
exploring that in any kind of way that wasn't required for work or for, anything else in a while. I felt that itch again. And so I thought it would be good, after exploring the stuff for the painting, to start to maybe figure out what kind of look or what kind of vibe I want to do for like the little people walking across the driftwood. And so yeah, I did a few studies, and I still, I don't think this is it. Like I want to refine and kind of pinpoint what I want the people to look like, and then yeah, just the general vibe, because I don't want it to be like too detailed, and I don't want them to just be studies on there. But yeah, anyways, some figuring out to do there. But yeah, it was really nice. Drawing with like a pencil feels good. And I was reminded of that just now. In between me doing these studies, and so first I figured out the composition. I came back to that. And then I had in my head, okay, I'll maybe, the next step, the clear next step in my head would be to figure out what the people are going to look like, and maybe play with that style. And this is something that happens to me a lot, and I feel like it's kind of a hurdle that I come across that keeps me from doing more creating, or like creating uninhibitedly more often. And once I've like done one art related thing, and I know I want to do more, I still feel the itch. Like obviously that's, that never really goes away. Something stops me from doing that. And then my brain starts to think like, it's late. Maybe I'll just watch something until bed. I'll do this later. It's the voice in your head that urges you to procrastinate something. Or like, maybe I want to have a little snack right now, or maybe I'll go play God of War, or, stuff like that. And it's that voice or that, obstacle that pops up that if I listen to it every time, then me getting to become the artist that I want to be, which is, an artist that is able to love creativity fully and create without inhibition. I can't get there unless I really like take a look at this hurdle that pops up constantly, like over and over and over. And instead of going along with it the way that I always have, and the way that, pushes me to, binge watch something, or directs me to go and like binge eat or snack or game or whatever, instead of doing that impulse, recognizing when it's happening. And so that's what I did just a little bit ago, before I did these studies. I recognized that like, okay, this happens often. I'm tempted to, go get a snack and play God of War. But I want to keep creating. I want to keep making art. So like, if I want to do something so bad, but something is keeping me from that, or something is making me feel like, oh, I don't know. It's like a discomfort. It makes proceeding with what I want to do seem so uncomfortable that, you want to turn away and you want to do something else. So knowing that, I just like pulled out my journal and sat for a little bit, and then started just like writing out how I felt, like stream of consciousness, whatever. And then feeling that feeling, like looking at it and feeling it, and not just running away from it like I always do. And then quickly, because I've been practicing, looking at myself and like feeling the uncomfortable things and whatever, it probably was only like 5 minutes that I was sitting there journaling before like being able to feel the emotion and knowing that it's there, because I'm afraid that whatever I draw or whatever I create in this next step that I want to create with, I'm afraid that it won't be good enough. I'm afraid of, failing or making something bad or whatever. And so being able to look at that feeling, confronting it, like staring it at its face, seeing it for what it is, and reassuring myself that like good enough isn't real, that standard and that bar is just pixie dust. It's fake. It's just smoke and mirrors that my own mind tells me is an actual threat, because my mind wants to maintain this identity that it thinks will keep it safe of being good at art and being a high performer and being a perfectionist and being, admired as an artist or whatever. So it's scary to make art sometimes, because if I'm not like, I don't know, feeling the most motivated or whatever, like something's off, anything can be off, then it's easy for my mind to convince me that now's not the time to make art, because I'm not 100%, so my art will not be 100%, and if my art isn't 100%, then it's not worth making, because if I make bad art, then I will not be good enough, and then everything will crumble, and my identity will die, and, just the worst possible thing would happen. So knowing all that, being able to see it as it is, which is an illusion, the fear of not being good enough or whatever isn't real, although it feels super real. I was able to, write that out for myself, be like, okay, just remind myself that it's not real. And then from there, just like bravely, as much as I could, take a step and be like, okay, just go, just do it. And I pulled out my papers and I brought this book over and I got my pencil and got some reference photos, and then I just started drawing. And then I drew 3 nice drawings that I wouldn't have done if I just went along with that initial thought of, I'm scared, I don't want to do this today. I'll do it later. I'll figure it out later when I'm feeling better or whatever. When the stars align or whatever. And like, it wasn't even a struggle to draw this stuff, because why does it have to be, The more that I convince myself and the more that I reassure myself that like my fears around the breaking down of this identity that I hold of being a high performer and having to be perfect all the time, the more that I challenge that and the more that I step over that, see it for what it is, see that it's an illusion, and then walk past it, the less power it has over me, right? Because then I start to learn like, okay, this feeling that I'm feeling is fear, but it's not real. I'm not under any real threat here. If I make something that's not good, like this thing that's just kind of sitting up here, an older version of me would have like a very uncomfortable, like visceral reaction to seeing this. But I'm trying to get myself to become comfortable with making bad art. This isn't bad, obviously. It's, what is bad art, right? Making art that isn't perfect to my standard, or pretty close, or like perfect enough. Perfect. So yeah, that's kind of the journey that I've been on today. Today was a weird day. I'm like kind of hormonal. I'm on my period, so that's fun. And like I definitely feel my emotions are a little bit heightened today. A few things went wrong today and I felt myself react to them, and it was a little bit difficult to get myself back to center, but I'm here now, so it's okay. And so, you know, the day that it was, and then coming now to you know, having done this thing that I overcame to get here, and now I feel good about that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a beautiful thing, you know? The bad that ends up in one way or another working out and being okay, and you learn from it. So, yeah. I guess that's all I wanted to say. I don't know. I just felt like I should pick up my mic and ramble for a little while. What time is it? So it's almost 9. I might keep doodling. I'll see what's up. I would appreciate some brain off activity or something, but part of me does still want to keep drawing, so I might just like doodle mindlessly. See if I can come up with some more ideas for the painting, but yeah, that's all for now, I guess. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I think tomorrow will be my last day vlogging. I have to do some things. I gotta take a new headshot because my last headshots that I took were, I think, 2 years ago. And they're fine, they're cute or whatever. I just, I feel different, so I want some different photos. I'll probably just do them here in the same space, but yeah, I need to do those for an artist opportunity, a project that I'm going to be involved with this month that I will make a video about, and you guys will find out and be able to come along for the ride. So look forward to that. Okay. Good night. Hello, it's me in voiceover form here to close out the vlog. Yeah, so the next morning or maybe a couple mornings later, this was like super early before the sun was up, I was planning to take photos, right? I wanted to take new artist headshots because I needed to send in artist headshots for an art thing that I was doing. And like I said, the last time I took photos of myself was a couple years ago, and here they are, like they're fine, right? They're just not really, I feel like I was going for more of a professional vibe, or like, you know, it's less edgy and less cool, and I feel like I am more comfortable as an artist, that like I want to express that side of myself, like on my website and stuff like that. So yeah, I wanted to take some flash photos. I was using my Fuji XS20 SX20? XS20. So yeah, I was playing with that. That's my video camera. I was playing with that. I used a autofocus lens, but I found that, I don't know, the autofocus wasn't really doing it for me. I don't know if it's the lens, I don't know if it's the camera, but yeah, a lot of the photos that I was taking ended up pretty blurry. But the blurriness in combination with like the flash that I was using, it kind of was like a cool vibe, and I liked what I ended up with. Yeah, so this is me just doing self-timer photos, trying to like make myself look cool. I was trying to do like kind of like a candid artist in studio kind of vibe. I don't know. I'm not a photographer. So yeah, this is how they turned out. I think they're good enough for now. And I'm sure I'll want to take new ones in a couple more years, but we will deal with that when that comes. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.
this vlog. If you watched all the way to the end, I hope you guys enjoyed the length. I hope you guys enjoyed the yapping as usual, and the arting and yada yada. I appreciate you all so much, and I hope you're having a great start to your spring. And I want to wish a extra special thank you and an extra special lovely start to their spring to my motherfucking patrons. Here they are. Here are my patrons. These are my people. Thank you so much, you guys, for your support, your ongoing support, as always, even though like I feel like my YouTube uploading is slowing down. I've been busy with other stuff. Life has been crazy lately. But thank you for sticking by me. I am trying to, even if my YouTube stuff is kind of slowing down, I'm trying to maintain the Patreon side of things as best I can. And I have lots of fun, cool art things planned for the summer, which I'm excited to share and talk about and document and blah, 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 blah. So please look forward to that. Thank you all so very much. And that's literally all. So bye now, I guess. I will see you guys in the next one. Hope you're all doing well. Please take care of yourselves. Be nice to yourselves. Go outside if the weather is good. Look at a tree. Listen to the birds, Pet a dog if you can find one or if you have one. Just enjoy the little things and have a great rest of your April. Bye. Bye.